Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt a strange heaviness in your legs? Or climbed the same stairs you've used for years, only to realize they suddenly feel steeper? It's easy to assume this is just part of getting older. But what if something else is quietly contributing to that weakness? Something that seems healthy, even comforting, something you've been told your whole life is good for you. The truth is, not every fruit is as harmless as it appears, especially for those of us over 60. Some fruits, though sweet and refreshing, can subtly strain your circulation, inflame your joints, and slowly wear down your leg strength without you even noticing. In today's video, we're going to uncover the 7 fruits that may be doing more harm than good for aging legs. These are fruits we often eat with confidence, believing they help us, when in fact, they may be holding us back. So if staying active, steady, and pain-free matters to you, stay with me. And if this topic already strikes a chord, feel free to click subscribe and tap the bell. You won't want to miss what comes next. Let's begin. 1. Pineapple's hidden inflammation. Pineapple, that golden, juicy fruit we've loved since childhood, has long been praised as nature's anti-inflammatory powerhouse, especially in warm climates. It's seen as the perfect tropical refreshment. But for those of us over 60, this sweet treat may be hiding a silent truth, one that affects our legs more than we realize. Yes, pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme known for helping with swelling and inflammation. That much is true. But here's the catch: as we get older, the body we once trusted to process sugars and acids efficiently is no longer the same. Our blood vessels, especially the tiny ones that supply our feet, calves, and thighs, become more delicate with age. They don't handle sugar spikes the way they used to. And pineapple, it's not just naturally sweet, it's deceptively loaded with sugar that can flood our bloodstream quickly. For younger folks, that might not be a big deal. But for seniors, that spike can quietly damage circulation, reducing the oxygen and nutrients that flow to our legs. The result? That familiar dull ache in your calves after a short walk, the tightness in your knees when you rise from a chair, the heaviness in your ankles when you've been sitting still for too long. Sometimes we chalk it up to aging, but sometimes it's what's on our plate. And then there's the acidity. Pineapple isn't just sweet, it's tangy, sharp, and packed with acids that can irritate sensitive joints. If you already deal with arthritis or inflammation, you might notice more stiffness, more burning in your knees or hips, more discomfort that creeps in slowly after your meal. Some people have even described feeling like their legs lose energy after eating pineapple. Not right away, but hours later, as if something inside had quietly drained their strength. There's another detail that matters, especially for those on medication. That same enzyme, bromelain, can interact with common prescriptions, especially blood thinners. It doesn't cause an obvious allergic reaction. It doesn't give you a stomachache or a rash. Instead, it changes the way your medication works. Subtly, silently, it may enhance its effects or weaken them. And either way, it leaves your body guessing, and that unpredictability, especially as we age, can be dangerous. But perhaps the most concerning part is this: pineapple doesn't seem like a threat. It looks innocent on a fruit platter. It's natural, it tastes light and refreshing, and because of that, many seniors eat it without thinking twice. Even when they're already dealing with unexplained swelling in their legs or fatigue that lingers longer than it should, the body doesn't always give us clear warnings. Sometimes, the damage builds slowly, year after year, until one day you realize you're not as steady on your feet, you move more carefully, you climb stairs more slowly, and you wonder when that shift happened. Let's be clear, this isn't a call to fear fruit or cut pineapple out of your life entirely. Nature still has its gifts. But it is a call to awareness, to knowing your body, listening to the subtle signs it gives you, and making smarter choices for the sake of your mobility and independence. If you've been dealing with leg pain, swelling, or a sense of fatigue that you can't quite explain, take a moment to reflect on what you've been eating. That small bowl of pineapple, though refreshing, may not be helping you like you thought. And if even a fruit with anti-inflammatory benefits can backfire on aging legs, what does that tell us about the next fruit? The one that promises potassium, energy, and muscle strength, but maybe quietly undoing your efforts from the inside. let's take a closer look. 2. Bananas' deceptive muscle drain. Let's talk about bananas. The fruit we've trusted for decades to boost our energy, prevent cramps, and support muscle health. Soft, sweet, easy to digest, and rich in potassium, bananas have earned a reputation as the perfect snack, especially for those who want to stay active. But what if I told you that for many seniors, this beloved fruit may actually be quietly undermining your leg strength? The truth is, bananas are high in natural sugars and fast-digesting carbohydrates. While that might be helpful for a young athlete needing quick energy, for older adults, it creates a very different effect. The rapid sugar spike that follows a banana can overwhelm aging blood vessels, especially the delicate ones that feed your legs and feet. Over time, these constant sugar surges can lead to inflammation and weaker circulation, both of which slowly rob your legs of oxygen and energy. The result? That dragging feeling in your calves after meals, that stiffness in your knees when you try to get moving, that unexplained heaviness in your legs after you've simply gone about your day. But it doesn't stop there. Bananas also contribute to water retention, particularly if you have underlying heart conditions or issues with blood pressure. This subtle fluid buildup often shows up as puffiness around your ankles, swelling in your feet, or joints that feel tight and uncomfortable. You may not connect it back to the banana you had for breakfast, but your body remembers. Each day adds to the strain. And the most surprising part, you won't feel the effects right away. There's no sharp pain, no urgent warning sign. Instead, it's the slow fading of your agility, the increasing effort it takes to climb stairs, the soreness that greets you after what used to be a simple walk around the block. All the while, you've believed bananas were helping, but in some cases, they're quietly doing the opposite. This doesn't mean you have to fear bananas. It means your body is speaking to you, asking for a little more attention, a little more care. So if you've been dealing with leg discomfort, swelling, or unexplained fatigue in your lower body, take a moment to consider the role of the foods you trust most. Sometimes, even the gentlest looking fruit can carry the biggest surprises. 3. Grapes' inflammatory uric acid surge. Now let's talk about grapes. Those little bursts of sweetness many of us enjoy straight from the fridge. They're easy to grab, refreshing, and carry a reputation for being heart-healthy and full of antioxidants. But for seniors, especially those dealing with joint stiffness or leg discomfort, grapes may not be as innocent as they seem. In fact, they may be quietly contributing to the very inflammation that makes walking or standing a little harder each day. Here's what most people don't realize: grapes are high in fructose, a natural sugar that's quickly absorbed by the liver. In moderation, the body can handle it. But when fructose intake climbs, as it often does when snacking on handfuls of grapes, the liver converts the excess into fat and uric acid. That's when the trouble begins. Uric acid, when it builds up in the bloodstream, has a nasty habit of settling into the joints. And for many older adults, that means flare-ups in the toes, ankles, and knees, sharp pain, swelling, and that burning sensation that can show up out of nowhere, especially in the evening. If you've ever felt a sudden sting in your big toe at night, or stiffness in your calves that doesn't match your level of activity, the culprit might not be age. It might be your fruit bowl. Grapes, while delicious, can raise uric acid levels and feed chronic inflammation in the body, leading to slower movement, reduced flexibility, and a sense of heaviness in your legs that becomes more persistent over time, and it's easy to overdo it. Unlike a heavy slice of cake or a large meal, grapes don't feel indulgent. They're small, bite-sized, and you can eat a handful without thinking twice. But 2 or 3 cups later, your body has absorbed more sugar than it can handle gracefully, and your joints may pay the price. This doesn't mean you have to fear every grape, but if you've been struggling with unexplained leg pain, swelling, or a creeping sense of discomfort after snacks that used to feel harmless, it may be time to pause and reconsider. Sometimes, the foods we think are helping us age well are, in fact, the very ones making it harder to move freely. And grapes, sweet as they are, might be a quiet contributor to the aches we chalk up to getting older. 4. Watermelon's glycemic trap. Let's take a closer look at watermelon, that juicy, refreshing symbol of summer. It's light, sweet, and feels like the perfect guilt-free snack. After all, it's mostly water, Right. That's why so many of us reach for it on hot days, thinking we're simply hydrating our bodies. But for seniors, this beloved fruit might be hiding something more harmful than helpful, especially when it comes to leg strength and circulation. Here's what most people don't realize: watermelon has an incredibly high glycemic index. That means it raises your blood sugar very quickly, much like a piece of candy. Now, for a younger person with a faster metabolism and better insulin response, that sugar surge might pass without issue. But in older adults, those sharp spikes can quietly damage the small, delicate blood vessels in the legs. Over time, this leads to inflammation and reduced circulation. And that's when symptoms begin to show up in places like your knees, ankles, and calves. You might notice it as a dull soreness after a walk that didn't used to bother you. Maybe your ankles feel puffy in the evening, or your legs feel heavier climbing stairs. And oddly enough, these issues might appear not long after a meal that included watermelon. That's because what seems like a hydrating snack is, in fact, flooding your bloodstream with fast-acting sugar, and your aging body struggles to keep up. The sneaky part is how easy it is to overeat. One slice of watermelon feels light, so it turns into 2, then 3. It's refreshing, but each bite adds more sugar, more insulin response, more inflammation. Before long, your body is working harder to manage what you thought was just water, and your legs are paying the price. None of this means watermelon is bad in every case, but if you're noticing more leg fatigue, swelling, or stiffness, it may be worth observing how often it's showing up on your plate. The fruit we often praise for hydration could, ironically, be making it harder for your legs to move freely and comfortably. Sometimes, the things that look harmless on the outside can slowly wear us down from within. And if that's true for watermelon, what about the next fruit? The one known for its vitamin C and immune-boosting properties, yet may trigger joint pain when we least expect it. Let's find out. 5. Oranges' acidic joint assault. Now let's turn our attention to oranges. The bright, cheerful fruit that shows up in everything from breakfast tables to vitamin supplements. They're fresh, aromatic, and packed with vitamin C, long hailed as a hero for the immune system. But for those of us over 60, the story isn't so simple. Behind that sunny citrus flavor may be a hidden challenge, especially if you're already dealing with joint pain, stiffness, or inflammation. What most people don't realize is that oranges are naturally high in citric acid. While that might not be a problem for younger bodies, aging joints and slower circulation often respond differently. For seniors, especially those with arthritis or chronic inflammation, that acid can act like a slow, silent agitator, irritating the soft tissues around the knees, hips, and ankles. You may notice it first thing in the morning: stiff knees that take longer to loosen up, a dull ache in your hips after sitting too long, or swelling in your lower legs that seems to come out of nowhere. And while it's tempting to blame it on aging, the cause may be hiding in your daily habits. That glass of orange juice with breakfast, once considered a healthy ritual, could be quietly contributing to the very discomfort you're trying to fight. The citric acid doesn't just stay in the stomach, it enters your bloodstream and can find its way to already sensitive joints, making everything feel just a little more sore, a little more inflamed. To make matters trickier, oranges also contain natural sugars that, when combined with their acidity, can lead to fluctuations in blood sugar. For seniors, these swings can increase systemic inflammation, making every step feel heavier, every movement just a bit more strained. And the hardest part, you think you're doing something good for your health. After all, oranges have always been part of the wellness image. But now you know, for aging joints, what once was a symbol of vitality may actually be amplifying the pain. That doesn't mean you must cut out oranges entirely, but it does mean your body deserves a closer look at how it responds. If you've been struggling with subtle joint discomfort or unexplained morning stiffness, the answer may not lie in a new pill. It may be sitting right in your fruit bowl, and the next fruit, it's green, crunchy, and looks like a safe choice. But what it does to your legs at night might surprise you. 6. Green apples. A hidden cause of leg stiffness. Let's talk about green apples. That crisp, refreshing fruit so many of us have come to associate with health and simplicity. They're often the go-to snack for seniors who are trying to cut back on sugar. thanks to their tart flavor and clean, natural image. Compared to sweeter fruits, green apples feel like the safer choice, organic, less sugary, and easy on the stomach. But beneath that wholesome crunch lies a hidden challenge for older adults, especially when it comes to joint comfort and leg strength. The first hidden issue is malic acid, the compound that gives green apples their distinct sour bite. While malic acid may be fine, even beneficial for younger bodies, it can become a silent irritant for seniors. As we age, our gut lining becomes more delicate, our joints more sensitive, and our tolerance for dietary acids more limited. Malic acid doesn't just stay in your mouth. Once digested, it enters your system and can subtly aggravate already vulnerable areas, particularly around the hips, thighs, knees, and ankles. Many seniors have reported a strange aching in their legs after eating apples, especially raw green ones. Some describe a warm, tingling sensation in the soles of their feet. Others mention stiffness that creeps into the knees after sitting down too long or climbing a few stairs. It doesn't always appear immediately, but over time, regular consumption can lead to a gradual buildup of discomfort that starts to feel like part of daily life. Except it's not just aging. It might be something as simple as the fruit in your hand. Then there's the second issue, natural sugar. Green apples don't taste as sweet as red ones, but that doesn't mean they're sugar-free. They still contain enough fructose to affect blood sugar levels, especially in older adults with slower metabolisms. When your body struggles to regulate those sugar spikes, inflammation becomes more likely, circulation in the legs can slow down. That's when you start feeling leg fatigue, nighttime cramps, or morning stiffness that seems to take longer and longer to shake off. Climbing stairs might leave you winded. Your calves feel tight for no reason. The tricky part is how often we eat them. Green apples are convenient. We slice them for snacks, toss them in salads, or even nibble on one before bed. But that quiet routine might be adding up. Not in calories, but in discomfort. It's easy to overlook a food that seems so safe, but that's exactly how it causes harm. Slowly, subtly, and without drawing attention until the discomfort becomes part of your routine. This isn't a warning to fear apples. It's a reminder to listen to your body. If you've noticed a lingering stiffness, unexplained aches, or tiredness in your legs, and you often reach for a green apple as a daily treat, it might be worth taking a short break and observing the difference. What once felt like a healthy habit could be wearing you down, step by step. And if something as simple and classic as a green apple can do that, imagine the impact of the next fruit, one that's tropical, intensely sweet, and adored by many. Let's take a closer look. 7. Mango, sweet but dangerous for your legs. Let's talk about mangoes, the golden, juicy fruit that feels like summer in every bite. For many of us, mangoes bring back warm memories sitting in the sun, slicing into that soft orange flesh, savoring every sweet piece. It feels natural, wholesome, and joyful. And that's what makes this so surprising. Because for older adults, especially those dealing with leg pain or joint discomfort, mangoes might be doing more harm than good, quietly, slowly, and without warning. You see, mangoes are loaded with natural sugars. Not a small amount either. We're talking about a serious sugar surge with every serving. For someone young and active, that sugar gets processed quickly. Their metabolism burns through it. Their circulation rebounds, and they're on with their day. But once you pass 60, your body doesn't respond the same way. That same sweet bite now triggers a sharp insulin spike, followed by a crash. And every time this cycle repeats, it quietly stirs up inflammation, especially in places where blood flow is already limited. That's where your legs come in. The soft tissues around your ankles, knees, and hips are often the first to react. After a mango-rich snack or dessert, some seniors experience a strange burning in their toes, a tingling that won't go away, or swelling around the feet that creeps in by evening. Others notice that their legs just feel heavier, like walking has become more effortful, even though they haven't done anything differently. The tricky part, mangoes feel so light, so refreshing. It's easy to have more than one. A few slices become a bowl becomes part of a smoothie. And before you know it, your body is overwhelmed by the sugar it's struggling to manage. Here's the thing, your body doesn't care that the sugar is natural. It still has to fight through the spike. And over time, that fight gets harder. The inflammation grows deeper. Your steps become slower, your balance feels shakier, and your legs, once strong and steady, begin to protest more often. Now, does this mean mangoes are inherently bad? Not at all. In moderation, and for those without sensitivity, they can still offer nutrients and joy, but for seniors with circulation issues, nerve problems, or chronic joint pain, mangoes may be quietly worsening symptoms. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. Because the more you understand what your body needs today, the more power you have to support it. And there's good news. Not all fruits are foes. In fact, many are your greatest allies in the journey toward better leg strength, reduced swelling, and smoother, easier movement. Think of berries, small but mighty, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries are rich in antioxidants and gentle on your blood sugar. They help reduce inflammation and improve circulation, particularly in the legs, or cherries in small amounts. They've been shown to lower uric acid and soothe joints. A handful can ease that nagging pain in your knees or toes. And don't forget avocados. Yes, they're technically a fruit. They're rich in healthy fats that cushion joints and reduce inflammation from the inside out. Papayas, too, with their tender texture and helpful enzymes, support digestion and are kind to aging joints. Even pears, when eaten with a little fiber or protein, offer a mild sweetness without overloading your system. These fruits don't fight against your legs. They work with your body, gently supporting strength, movement, and balance. So if mango has been a part of your daily habit and you've been feeling more stiffness, swelling, or fatigue, try swapping it out for one of these healing fruits. Pay attention to how your body responds. You may be surprised how much better your legs feel after just a few days. It's not about giving things up. It's about choosing what lifts you up. Fruits that heal rather than harm, choices that support strong steps and lighter mornings. Because at this stage in life, every decision you make matters. And even something as simple as what's on your fruit plate can shape how confidently and comfortably you move through the world. Have you ever taken a morning walk and felt your legs dragging just a little more than usual? Or paused halfway up the stairs, wondering why something that once felt effortless now takes more energy than it should? You're not alone. Many older adults experience this slow shift, the creeping stiffness, the swelling, the subtle discomfort in the knees or ankles that wasn't there before. It can be frustrating, even worrying, especially when you feel like you're doing everything right, eating well, staying active, following the advice you've trusted for decades. But here's something worth reflecting on. What if part of the problem isn't what you're missing, but what you've been including without question? Something as familiar and beloved as fruit. Yes, fruit is natural. Yes, it's packed with vitamins. But not every fruit is kind to aging joints, and some may quietly be working against your circulation, balance, and leg strength. And the most surprising part, you've probably been eating them with confidence, believing they're helping when in reality, they could be slowly holding you back. In today's video, we're going to gently peel back the truth about 7 common fruits that may be silently contributing to leg pain and weakness in seniors. We're not here to take away your favorites. We're here to understand your body better, because with the right knowledge, you can continue walking strongly, climbing confidently, and living fully. So stay with me until the end. If this resonates with you, consider tapping the subscribe button and turning on the bell. Together, let's explore the simple changes that can make a lasting difference, one thoughtful choice at a time,